Oh, it's a new year already. I'm having trouble putting 2026 on all these pictures and the release dates and everything. In fact, there's one that says 2027. That is insane. But you know what that means? First of the year, not a whole lot going on, but there are a few toys. So we gotta talk about them, Rod. I'm not gonna keep you too long. Look at some pretty pictures, listen to blah, 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 and then go about your merry way. Go have some fun. Because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. You know the deal. I hadn't even posted the last episode before it was already out of date. We talked about the Cryptoids War for the Green Planet Reptoid droids. Reptoid droids? Pardon me. May I have some droids? Cryptoids War for the Green Planet Reptoid drones. They're just minions for the big bosses that are controlling the world from the shadows. They send these guys out and just wreak havoc. Those were nifty, those were neat in their greens, but it was the next day the Yes Have Some podcast crew posted up a blue variant. Now, I don't think I could choose which one I like better. They both have their perks, because while green makes me think reptile right off the bat, blue has a bit more sinister look to them. And I think a lot of it has to do with the eyes. Maybe the color scheme, the yellow blending into the white, into the blue, and then that just slit right down the middle. Ooh. Which isn't a huge departure from the green ones. It's just a color change. But I think it's the red with the green. It stands out more and it adds to that animated feel. Maybe. I can't pinpoint it. I just look into the face of this one and think, oh, these are a bit more savage. Crazed, but not in a Lion King hyena way. But where am I going? And then with the alternate head, which we talked about being a bit less cartoony, the yellow fading to the eye, the big, huge eyeball on the side of the blue head. Yeah, I like that too. I can't decide. Well, it's not like I have to make a decision at this exact moment. The Kickstarter isn't until spring of 2026, which is this year now. The team also posted some preliminary sketches, some concept art, and this is what brought it all into focus for me. Again, we talked about the overall aesthetic of these guys, how it was just kind of like, and it's nice to have confirmation that it was meant to be kind of dumb looking. That could be interpreted as, hey, this is kind of dumb looking, change it before the final sculpt. But then the final figure ends up looking like that. So I think that was the plan, kind of dumb looking. And I love them even more for that. They're drones, they're cannon fodder. Send them out into the battlefield, just, and then the heroes can just knock them out, knock them down, no problem. But it does make me ponder what the Reptoid overlords or big bosses are going to look like. Are they going to be more sinister? Are they going to be kind of transforming? I need to stop doing this because there's going to be more reveals before the Kickstarter. So let's just wait it out. Let's not get crazy. Boss Fight Studio has been teasing their next wave of epic hacks, which means 1/12 scale, 6-inch. The good scale. Not a whole lot to go on, just some silhouettes, but we can discern what's going on with each, really. And it's kind of a continuation of Wave 1. Maybe pairing up, or maybe they're going out on a whole new path. I'm sure this one will fit right in with, that's dumb, right? I mean, they're going for the same scale, it's the same style, articulation scheme, base bodies, so yeah, it's gonna fit in. This one is the hardest to gauge. I have no clue what's going on here other than it's a human shape with stuff on it. Some shoulder pads, maybe a tight helmet. Again, this one seems to pair up with a Wave 1 offering, so maybe it'll be a space team of some kind. This is the one that catches my eye though. It's the weirdest, it's the oddest. It has the big cylindrical helmet thing going on. Some kind of backpack with tanks? Is that tanks? What's a tube? I don't know, I guess we'll see. Hopefully with these teases, it means that Wave 1 is very, very close, along with their blanks and some other stuff we've been waiting on. Because I need more 1/12 scale goodness Because we don't have enough, do we? Speaking of that, Realm Toys has done a render reveal for their Brutal Realm Owl King. Like I was just saying, we need more 1/12 scale figures out there. And why not some big, bulky bastards just muscled up beyond belief? I've said this before, it feels very Masters of the Universe-y. It follows the same playbook, but it gives it some grit, some edge, a metal feel to it. Sure, it's jacked barbarians and villains with skulls and homages to others, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if it works and they're able to do it, gimme, gimme. I guess it's the owl theme that makes me feel like there's an intelligence factor to this character, but at the same time, it's also, well, I'm just gonna swing these axes, throw them around, and decapitate whoever I want to. And that's the feel of the whole line. Just weapon up and start swinging. And it's just blood, guts, innards all over the place. In fact, that should be an accessory pack of some kind. Innards, just to lay on the battlefield. The blurb does say they're working on an articulated owl companion, so that'll be neat. I'm always a sucker for the animal types. Which segues fairly nicely over to the HIYA Toys Exquisite Super Rocky 2 Rocky. I still haven't dipped my toe into this company whatsoever. I haven't test driven any of their figures. I've seen some that kind of called my name, but I've never jumped on them. Looking at pretty promo pictures over the years, though, they seem to be evolving a bit, especially with the soft goods. The sculpts have always looked fairly good. It's recognizable, at least. But in the beginning, it was bulky clothing, and you could tell that it didn't seem to scale quite right. Of course, that may be a matter of getting them into your hands and smoothing them down or adjusting things, but I don't know that. I've never held one. I also haven't been enough of, well, I'm gonna say this, but it's hard not to be a fan of some of their properties. But I don't know. I do need a Rocky somewhere, but if I were to get one, it wouldn't be street clothes Rocky. Again, it does look great. It really, really does. But when I saw the picture, I thought, okay, that looks good. I'll talk about it this weekend, pass on by, wait for the next one. Maybe it'll grab me. But then I saw Butkus. And that's a pretty good looking dog that comes with a figure, but I can't go buying this just because of the included animal, can I? Can I? I can do whatever I want. But when it comes down to it, no, probably not. For budget reasons and everything else that's coming out, I'll probably admire this from afar. But man, tempting. How about when the company just offers the animals by themselves? That is much more up my alley, like the NANMU Smart Series Saltwater Crocodiles. First glance, I thought, well, I already have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Crocmaster. In fact, I have 2 of them, so I am good. But it is a dangerous thing to sit and stare at pretty promotional pictures. It really, really is, because the more I looked, the more I realized, well, these are a bit more realistic. They have the paint apps, and look at those eyes and the articulation with the full body. Then I saw the size, which is over 13 inches long. Big old croc. Then I realized there's also options, which NANMU does do with a lot of their releases. I only have their Raptors, which was a pair, one lighter, one darker, a couple of sculpt changes, but it differentiates them enough to make me want both. And here, the Omen King is like the younger Croc. He's hungry. But then the Lord of Blood has a more elder, distinguished feel to it because of the gray dry brush on top. None of the pictures I've found so far get really super close, so I can't say if there's any sculpt differences. It does seem to be around the eye, maybe the face, but it also could be paint. So at the moment, I don't know. I just look at the gray one and think, well, maybe one. Because I got to give it a try, right? Again, NANMU, I know their quality. I know they're great. Foot-long crocodile for the display. Am I pre-ordering this? While you're on 5K Toys looking at the crocodile, you also have a chance at pre-ordering the Joe Articu 1/12 The Clown No. 1. Or a third-party Dark Knight Joker. Or should I say, another third-party Dark Knight Joker. Hell, I can say another Dark Knight Joker. On my top 10 list earlier in the week, I talked about how many Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knights and Batman Begins Batmans we've gotten over the years. It is a metric shit ton. And it's the same when it comes to Joker. I don't know who's winning at this point. There's a lot of Batmans. And he has different looks. And Joker only appeared in one movie. So if I were to wager a guess, if I was to slap a $5 bill down on the table, I would say there's more Batmans. But ooh, Joker's coming up quick. Because there has been third parties in the past, along with official releases. And I have gotten a lot of them. Hell, I've got some on pre-order that I haven't even gotten yet. But here I am on 5K Toys, pre-ordering this one too because it looks so good. Now granted, I do have a Joker display that I like to add to every now and then. And if you're gonna give me a good looking Heath Ledger Joker, then I might as well try it out. Because a lot of them are great. And I'm gonna say great, it's a high bar. But man, I look at some of these, maybe it's the shadows, maybe it's the photography. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I'm a sucker for Jokers. It's like a quadruple whammy here. You knew I was gonna be in. But I cannot deny that these look fantastic. Now, there are some accessories that come with this that probably shouldn't be put on this base body. The bank robber mask, some of the weapons, the duffel bag. That was definitely when he was in his first suit earlier in the movie. But I'm not gonna sit here and gripe about extras, things I don't have to use, but adds to the value of the overall price. No. Why? I'm just gonna appreciate what we are getting, hopefully getting. There's a couple of third-party Jokers, maybe not Heath Ledger. Oh, it's Cesar Romero. There's a third-party Joker I've been waiting on for a few years now, but I did see somebody had it overseas, so maybe that is coming up. So there's no guarantee here. It's a third party. Could come in, shut them down before anything happens. They have to run off, change their name. Or maybe this is a company that has changed their name and they're just starting fresh again. I don't know. I don't keep up with that kind of thing. I just know that I look at the pictures, I put in a pre-order, I wait. If it doesn't happen, there are many, 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 many more fish in the sea. But if this comes in and it's the top of the pile, it's the cream of the crop, then I feel like my wait was justified. And the other Jokers start moving back in the display. Yes, okay, I may have a problem, but I'm dealing with it in my own way. Not really. Lastly, but not leastly, there is the Mess Toys Scarlet Hero. And I say it like that because when I labeled these pictures as they went into the folder, I typed out Scarlet Neighbor because that seems to be the naming convention when it comes to their third-party Spider-Mans. But I had forgotten about their previous Scarlet Neighbor in the black and red costume. So this time around, it's the Scarlet Hero. And Ben Reilly's been getting quite a bit of love over the past few years, hasn't he? It's not my favorite iteration. He came along at that lull in my comic book reading, but I've come to appreciate the cleanliness that I see with all the recent action figures. That plain red bodysuit with the contrast of a torn up blue hoodie, the asymmetrical logo, the white staring out, the pouches. He can actually store stuff. Hint of brown, bit of silver. Yeah, it's a good looking design. I don't go out of my way to get these guys, but I'm also not turning them down as much as I used to. Plus there is the absolutely beautiful Superior Neighbor that Mess Toys bestowed upon us this year. So based on that, I've kind of wanted to go back to some of their previous neighbors and then pick up future neighbors. Won't you be my neighbor? I did not plan on wearing this when talking about neighbors. So no pre-order just yet. It's going to be in the next couple of months. But if I remember right, Mess Toys doesn't mess around when it comes to wait times from pre-order to actual release. So we'll see. I just know that I have my vanilla Spider-Mans in some displays. And then, I'm bringing out the Amazing Yamaguchis and the Mess Toys and all that for the dynamic Spider-Man displays where they're just going all crazy and don't expect me to crouch down but you know what I'm talking about. And that's all I have for this week. Yes, I know, short, sweet, but again, it's the holidays. I'm sure it'll pick up as we go along through 2026. As always, special thanks to the Nobots and the Nobodies, the Patreon and the channel memberships. We've made it through another year. Who'da thunk? And here we are, still doing this crazy thing of talking about toys. I always get to a new year and think, do I need to change things up? Because I've been doing it essentially the same for 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. Do I need a different background? Do I need to sit at a desk? Do I need to dress up? Do I need to change the format, the order? I start playing with things, but I also get pretty used to the routine. I've thought about changing up the reviews before and walking out here, starting it and going, okay, what can I do different? Okay, people, welcome back. And yeah, just straight into it. It's almost subconscious. So maybe I need to make a conscious effort to change something. Maybe something little, just the intro, or get into and thing, and then build from there. I don't know. I like mixing it up every now and then just to break the monotony. You know, like how I usually end these, talking about either what I'm gonna do, which I'm still the same things, Playdate coming, the Marvel Legends Executioner wave. I've got Skeletron figures and ship upgrades to look at, customs done, and having fun. Here he goes again. I sure would like to change stuff up. Okay, y'all remember, have some fun this week, because that's what it's all about. That's the hobby. Yeah, we'll work on it. Bye.